Welcome, Hidden One. From this day forward, you are a Hidden One.
لست إلا نقرة.
Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today we are going to look at a game I am contemplating on covering at the latter part of the year. Mirage is the latest title from the Assassin's Creed franchise, a franchise that I have really loved over the years ever since Assassin's Creed 1, and this game is touting its returning to its roots. And overall, I think in some ways they really did capture that, and then in other ways they're trying to keep their current player base and what they've built over the last decade. Personally, I feel like they have really strayed away from Assassin's Creed 1 and 2 and more so built a kind of different looking franchise than how it started. In Assassin's Creed 1, it gives you this vibe as an assassin underling working your way up through the ranks and discovering the actual problem with the world. These hidden, world-dominating beings actually left pieces of Eden around the world, and the Templars are trying to use them to control humanity. In that title, you really got the feeling like you had to be careful in every combat situation you approached. So it'll be interesting to see if they actually captured that, and from what the gameplay showed, it did seem like we are going to be more so of a defensive fighter than an aggressive attacker like in Valhalla. Our main character, Basim, is a upcoming assassin, much from a street rat like Aladdin, and we are going to be learning techniques and ways to stay alive while you're completing a mission. And I feel like they really captured that through the defensive style of fighting. So that does look like one thing that's going to translate back from Assassin's Creed 1. Another thing is going to be the notoriety system. It looks like we're going to have 3 different tiers of notoriety. We'll have like a small arms, then we'll have like an archery, and then we will have more of a heavy infantry coming after us. And I did love hearing that iconic horn that does assemble all the troops to come after you. So it does look like the bribing of public officials to get your notoriety is gonna be back in this one, as well as dismantling the posters that are placed around the city. And I only say that because I've seen this image of this poster and it seems very much like a poster, and it does say wanted down on the bottom right. I'm not sure what the rest says, but I was able to figure that little bit out. So I'm guessing as you go around and bribe these public officials and tear these posters down, it'll probably go down bit by bit. And they could have segmented it so after 1 bribe there's no more heavy infantry, and then maybe after like 2 posters the archers are no longer after you, and so on. And they did bring the iconic assassin den back, which I really liked because it even felt sneaky getting into your headquarters the way you had to approach it. Inside the assassin's den, we can actually see the missions table and then talk to Abba Jafar, where we can unlock more gear as we progress along the storyline. There are 6 tools we're going to be able to use along this tool wheel. They are torch, throwing knives, blow dart, the smoke bombs, a trap, and a noise maker. And as an upcoming assassin, I would see these tools as something rudimentary you would need to be able to understand and use to complete the tasks that are assigned to you. And so far from what I can see, it looks like there's going to be 3 different types of missions that you can acquire, and it's going to be an assassination mission, a pickpocketing mission, and it looks like you're gonna be taking down a fortified location. On completing these missions, you get a bunch of different resources, a golden coin, it looks like some sticks of some sort, and even a silver ingot. Then if you're able to complete the contractor's request, like do not take any damage, you will get an additional gold piece and then what looks like some smaller silver pieces. Then earlier on in the bronze mirror heist, there was this white arrowhead shaped piece as well, and I'm kind of curious as to what all these resources are going to be for, seeing how our gear is unlocked via the storyline and just main progression. I feel like there's still a mechanic we have yet to see. Maybe we're going to be able to upgrade our assassin den, or they are meant for cosmetic unlocks. And from what it looks like, the additional Prince of Persia pack does include a certain dye to the outfit, so it very well could be a cosmetic related thing. And if you look in the top left hand corner of this image, it does show an amount of these certain types of quests complete. So what I'm starting to think is these are actually the different contractors and how many missions have been completed per contractor. Just to further break down this image, the castles on the contracts, I'm guessing, are the fortified locations we're going to have to steal from. The swords are the combat areas we're going to have to travel to, and then the skulls with the assassination blade are obviously going to be assassinations. So one thing I do want to mention really quick is the gameplay was taken on a late stage Basim, and they have only completed 6 contracts. I feel like this is kind of a tell when we're talking about the game in general. It doesn't seem like there's going to be a whole lot of depth that you're going to have to achieve in order to be a top tier assassin. And with all the chatter here recently, I do think it is fair to mention this is going to be one of the more minor titles in this series, as it was intended to be a DLC for Valhalla, but they got a little bit carried away and decided to make a full release for it instead. If we're looking back to Assassin's Creed 1, I feel like Mirage is giving it a really fair nod. Of course, after 10 plus years, things are going to change, the team is going to change, and really the player base is going to change. So while wanting an old school Assassin's Creed game is fair, I think that they've already headed a certain direction, and they really need to keep up with that pace, and if they don't, then they could end up losing player base, which obviously Ubisoft is not going to be a fan of. There's only one thing that I'm not really getting down with in this new title, and it is that temporal warp thing that Basim can do. I think a way better idea for Mirage to have is not that, because obviously it takes a lot away from the stealth mechanic that they're shooting for. If I can just run in here and instantly assassinate 4 or 5 guys, and then also use my chain assassinations with my throwing knives, it's going to open up this area immensely, and really it's going to make it to where the combat is non-existent. So it's not that you won't have to get into combat, it's that you'll be able to destroy everybody around you before the combat is even started. I really feel like Assassin's Creed Mirage is gonna be whatever you make it, and if you want to use this ability, then great. If you don't, then you might have a more Assassin's Creed 1 style of feeling. I think 2 core features that have kind of developed over the last decade are the mounts, which are gonna be in this one as well. It sounds like they do mention a couple different areas other than the main city of Iraq. These could just be story-based mounts, but based on the Prince of Persia add-on, it does seem like we will have other areas of travel to use these. And then the next one is gonna be the use of our bird in order to survey an area and get a feel for what is ahead of us before we even get there. I am really glad to see both of these in here, not only because of the size of the maps and the ability to use these both, but also just because of the feel that it brings to the game. I'm not gonna lie, I'm really glad that they haven't mentioned anything about these alien extra dimensional beings that are always messing with us, like Juno. We did get a look at a spooky looking being that I can only assume is going to be Death based on the hints in some of the trailers. So while Basim may be trying to save his land, it is very possible that this is actually the big bad that we are going to be facing along the storyline. It could be a perfect way to run this story as well, because let's just leave out the extra worldly things and mainly focus on the internal struggles of our character, which leads me to believe that Basim is just a lowly assassin, a simple man that is going to usher in a new era with a war. This is really cool if that's what they intended to do with this, because sometimes the whole battle is fought before the main event is even happening. I think it's safe to say that there is no Valhalla without Basim, so getting a look at his story and seeing what actually made the man is going to be a very interesting take. Overall, I do feel like Assassin's Creed Mirage is going to be a good insertion into the Assassin's Creed brand and is going to kick back a lot of features that some players have missed, and as long as you play this game your way, I think that you will be able to experience that same kind of gameplay. You can pick up Assassin's Creed Mirage on Xbox, PlayStation, and Steam. And for PC, it's going to be $49.99 for the standard version and $59.99 for the Deluxe edition. If you pre-order them, you're going to get the Deluxe pack as well, which includes the Prince of Persia inspired outfit, eagle, mount skin, weapons, and then probably just more cosmetics. It's slated to come out October 12th of this year, and I'm probably gonna pick it up just because I really do support the franchise. And even if I don't support the publishing company, I can still support the team in a way by picking this one up. I'm not 100% sold if I'm gonna put this into my schedule for content creating or not, but if a couple of the other games get pushed that I am looking at, then this one very well could fill that slot. If you like this type of content, make sure you're subscribed to the channel to stay in the loop, like the video to make it noticeable, and as always, have a good day.